of our life as a church. Ecclesiastes 10 verse 19, a feast is made for laughter. Laughter is good. We should laugh. We should laugh. The Bible says a merry heart is like a medicine. Turn to the person next to you and say, cheer up. You need to laugh more. A feast is made for laughter. Wine makes life merry. Don't drink too much. And money is the answer for everything. So this is the fifth and final part of my little money message. And I've told you, if you weren't here last week, these books have really helped me. I would encourage you to get these books, God, Money, and Me, by our very own New Zealand Paul de Jong, one of the great fathers of certainly the Pentecostal church in the nation. Paul's sister comes here. He's part of this church. And but just a great man. And the other one is Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover. He's a believer, and he's just helped hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people get out of debt. So this is the fifth and final part. Some of you go and say, thank you, Jesus. King Solomon also wrote, and I'm going to go very fast here to get to where I need to get to, but he also wrote, moreover, when God gives someone wealth and possessions and the ability to enjoy them, you should be able to enjoy what God gives. The ability to enjoy them, to accept their lot and be happy in their toil, not happy doing nothing, happy in their toil. This is a gift of God. Financial freedom, I want to tell you, is a gift from God. To enjoy what God gives, to not just have enough for oneself, to be able to bless others, to sow and invest into the kingdom out of the abundance that God has given, is a gift. It brings joy and it should be pursued. We're blessed to be a blessing. Good place to say amen. You see, money makes a lot of people funny. But money and what we do with it is the most reliable external indicator of where our heart is at least Jesus thought so. He said, for where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. He said, no one can serve two masters. Either you will hate one and love the other, or you will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and mammon, money, things. Paul warned us the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. Some people eager for money, don't be eager for money, have wandered from the faith and pierced themselves with many griefs. So what have we learnt so far? Number one, all we have belongs to God. Our wealth comes from God. We've got to settle the ownership issue. The samosas are his. Number two, we're stewards, not owners. Our material wealth is not ours to possess. It's only ours to steward. How do we do that? How do we start the stewarding journey? Well, we've really been talking at a basic level. It starts with, number three, live within your means. You need to act your wage. That means spend less than you earn. Your money habits, your money practices, they're either going to build wealth or they're going to deplete it. And if you're trying to get your personal finances into order, remember, it's 80% behavior. It's about what you do, not what you know. And that's why it's not uncommon for people to win the lottery, millions and millions of dollars, and a couple of years later are broke. They're worse off than they were before. You can Google it. Not now, that would be rude. But you can Google it. Why they were? Because behavior is the key. Ask Mike Tyson. He had $400 million, lost it all. Behavior. And so if you're trying to get your personal finances, I'm Pastor Adam, I'm trying to help you. If you're here trying to get your personal finances into order, this won't work unless you do. So you've got to choose your heart. Being fiscally responsible is hard, but so is being poor, so is poverty, so is crippling debt. That's hard too. Choose your heart. So yes, it will require sacrifice, some pain in order to gain some fiscal fitness. Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. There are no quick fixes here. Proverbs tells us a good person leaves an inheritance for their children, their children's children. It's a long-term game. You want to build wealth, you want to leave a legacy, you want to leave an inheritance for your children, even your children's children. You have to choose to live life different to how most people live their life today. As Dave Ramsey says, you've got to live like no one else, so later on, you can live like no one else. How are people living today? Debt. Week at a time, day at a time, barely got. If you want to live like no one else, so later on you can live like no one else. How do you do that? Number 4, dealing with debt. Many people are, can I just say this? I'm just being honest here, not you, but the other service. Many people are lifestyling themselves into bondage. Some people, they look rich, but they're poor. They've got the car, the boat, and the payments. And the debt. They got the bling, you know, the thing. But they're poor. They're not rich. They look rich, but it's all, they don't own it. The bank owns it and laughs. It's behavior. I said, I'm so stressed. I've got so much money trouble. I need a holiday. So you put it on the card, don't you? You repeat the cycle, right? It's behavior. And can I say there's a sense of entitlement out there. There's a sense of entitlement in today's generation. Oh, you deserve this, girl. I don't know, it could be a man too. That doesn't work the same. You deserve this, man. It doesn't work. You deserve it, girl. You so deserve it. And you deserve it now. I want it all. I want it all. And you want it? Yeah. We'll stop it. That's right. Jesus said, be on your guard against all kinds of greed. For one's life does not consist in the abundance of possessions. Here's what the Bible says about debt. The borrower is a slave to the lender. We said they don't call it MasterCard for nothing. So how do we deal with debilitating debt? How do I get free of GE? We said you have to go full nuke on your budget. You've got to find $200. You've cancelled your subscription. Sky, 50, Disney, 21. You've found $100. You've stopped those daily lovely lattes, $10 a day. You've curbed the impulse buying. You're making your lunch and actually eating it too. Come on, somebody. You've stopped those bad habits and some legit ones. You've increased your means. You're selling pots. You've put on a garage sale. You're taking on an extra job delivering pizza. I know there's people who do that. You're doing some Uber Eats. You're delivering to those people who want to keep paying. Get that? You've created some margin. What's next? That $200, whatever amount that is. What was the next step? Number 5, create a $1,000 emergency fund. Why do you start an emergency fund? Simply, if you don't, you'll put it on the card. And the cycle continues. Whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow. It's behavior. Once that's done, number 6, we were to deal with debt. And I spoke about 2 simple methods. One's called the debt snowball. Showed the video. The other is called the debt avalanche. You can go back if you're just joining us today. There's a whole series here. So these are the 2 methods anyone can use to deal with debt. What's the difference between the 2? Both are good, but for different reasons. Which one do I recommend? Which one would I say do? If you're trying to get out of debt, I would recommend the debt snowball. Why? Simply this, because the wins come quicker and more regular. It feels like you're smashing it. Yeah. When you've been stuck in debt for a long time, you need those wins. Yeah. You need those wins to come thick and fast. See, the debt avalanche is mathematically better. If you do the debt avalanche, you will save more interest. You will save more money in the long run. You'll even pay it off quicker if you do the debt avalanche. Although the debt avalanche is and it's really just a different way, and I'll show you what it is in a second. We'll zip through it. But it's mathematically better, but it's not emotionally better. And there's a lot of emotion when it comes to dealing with money. Because people say if it was just a mathematical thing, none of us would be in trouble. That's just mathematical. We just do the math. But because money's an emotional thing, they say money talks. You love money. It's got some love. There's a lot of emotion around money. People fight over it. And because there's a lot of emotion around that, you've got to understand, mathematics, if it was just a matter of mathematics, why would we get in trouble anyway? Because we're not thinking logically, we're thinking emotionally. It's just, I want it. Precious. It's about behavior. It's behavior. Here's a chart. So here's the difference. I'll put this somewhere if someone wants it. But debt snowball, the focus on smallest debt balance first, highest, the other one, debt avalanche, highest interest rate first. Order of payoff, debt snowball, smallest to largest, this one, highest to lowest interest rate. Primary benefit builds motivation for early wins. You don't get, because if you're taking the highest interest rate or the biggest thing, it takes ages to get that first one off. Where the other one, you take the smallest one and you've got to win. It might be just $200, $300, but you've won it and then you feel like you're the king of the world. Because you did it. So the primary benefit in debt snowball, it builds motivation, early wins. Emotional advantage, quick results, feeling rewarding. Requires patience and fewer earlier wins. Mathematical benefit, may cost more over time. Usually the fastest and cheapest method. Discipline level, easier to stick to emotionally. The other one, it's harder because it's like I'm not seeing any progress. So that's why I recommend the debt snowball. If you want that, I can send it to you. But listen, there's a million comparison videos on YouTube now. Now, years ago there wasn't. Now there is. You can comparisons, and it'll show you how it all works. But let's say you follow the debt snowball and now you've dealt with your debilitating debt. And I'm not talking about your mortgage. You've got to live somewhere, and some of you might have student loans. There's other complexities. But we're just talking about the average New Zealand household debt is $3,600, and that is so doable. Your HP, your GE, your Q card, your MasterCard, it is so doable. And so depending on your debt, if you've got $10,000 of debt, some people do, it's going to take longer. It might take 2 years, might take 3 years to get that sorted out. And there's things you can do. You can sometimes consolidate loans, and you can take it to your loan, and another bank will take it on. They'll give you 3 months interest free, and you go, great, I can buy some other. No, don't pay that off while it's interest free. There's lots of things that you can do, smart things that you can take advantage of. And can I just say, Sorted is an amazing, amazing website. It's a New Zealand website. And listen, the difference is an emergency fund. I went out and said, exactly. They've listened to my message. But it's a great website. And so what's next? Number 7. Here we go. What's next? You've got out of debt. What next? Number 7, here it is. Build a bigger emergency fund. You've paid off your debt. You've taken that 200, and this is where it gets very exciting because you're starting to make progress right now. It feels very motivating. Because you're going, I never thought I could get here. And so you even start finding even more. You start you do your side hustle because you're good at photos. So you take photos and you start sending bills. Now you got $300, and so you're starting to save. And how much of an emergency fund should you get? I think just to be able to survive. If you lost your job tomorrow, could you survive for a couple of months, or would you have to put it on the card and go into debt? Remember, you already have $1,000, so I would say go for $10,000 if you can. And this is why, as you start to do this, you're starting to build wealth. Well, do I really need a side hustle, Pastor? Well, the Apostle Paul had one. He made tents. He was a tent maker. He was the outdoor recreational lifestyle specialist. That's what he was. He had a side hustle. But really, what you're trying to do here is you're trying to just in case you got made redundant or something happens in between, or you're in between jobs, or the car engine blows up, and before you would have taken a high interest loan and be paying it off for like ever. But now you're covered. You've got the money. You've got the money. You've got the 10,000. You can. It might happen when you're just at 5,000 or 3,000. But now you've got the money. You can do something about it. And if you do spend it, because it is for emergency, if you do, you replenish it. You start replenishing it always. And so let's say you've done that. You can't believe yourself. You've changed your behavior. You've got some healthy habits and you're building wealth. You never thought you could do this. You never thought it was possible. And now you're pumped. What do you do once you've done that? You've got your emergency fund. You know what we used to call emergency funds? Your rainy day fund. Get your rainy day money. Back in the olden days. We used to call it the rainy day fund. Pastor, you need to trust God more. No, I can't pastor, stupid. You need to be more positive, Pastor. Yes, I am positive. I'm positive it's going to rain. I'm positive. It's going to rain one day, and you've got to be ready. You've got to have a rainy day fund. Is that too much? Did I go too far? I'm trying to help you. See, before you would have put stuff on your card, now you're covered. You've got that. So what's next? What next? Number 7, make your money work. What am I? 8. I was just checking, making sure you're awake. Number 8. Clearly, I was not towards the end of preparing this. Number 8, make your money work. 7's a good biblical number anyway, so I've said it twice. Make your money work. What does that mean? Just invest. Matthew, you know it, the parable of the talents. I love this. Again, it will be like a man going on a journey who has called his servants and entrusted his wealth to them. To one he gave 5 bags of gold, to another 2 bags, and to another 1 bag each, according to his ability. Whatever you have, God's given you according to your ability. Stop making excuses. Then he went on his journey. The man who had received 5 bags of gold went at once and put his money to what? Oh, thank you, Shane. Put his money to work. To work. Make your money work. And he gained 5 bags more. So also the one who had 2 bags of gold gained 2 more. But the man who had received 1 bag went off and dug a hole. Stop digging holes. He dug a hole in the ground and hid his master's money. Do you know that doing nothing is doing something? You're doing nothing, right? That's an action. I used to have this cup. Someone brought it for me, and it says, people say nothing is impossible, but I manage to do nothing most days. It's true. See, the good and faithful stewards put the master's money to work. 5 bags became 10. 2 became 4. If you're in business here today, awesome. You're a marketplace minister. Awesome, awesome, awesome. May you prosper and grow. May you prosper and succeed. May you be blessed, and may your business grow. May you do well. I mean, why would we want anything else? Because as you do well, others do well. But people, you provide jobs, you provide incomes, you feed families. You're not just doing stuff. You're helping society flourish. You should do well. Why wouldn't we want that? And this is what I always tell the story of Shem, like, because Shem, who's part of the church here, has been for like a million years. But Shem took a side hustle and made it an amazing business. And like, there's all kinds of, there's people in here who own supermarkets. There are people who, but like big supermarkets. There are people here for big businesses, small businesses, everything in between. I love it. But see, Shem took his passion. What does Shem do? He loves games. He loves board games. And he used to think in the middle of the night about board games. Stephanie used to go, could you just think about me? It's like, I can't seem to throw the dice. And he thought, and he took his passion, and he put it down. Now he's running a whole company. His games are used all over the world. He's won like the Academy Award kind of stuff of games. Board games. All over the world. He's got a company. He's just taken on a warehouse. He's got staff. And all of that was from, because I like games. What do you like? What are you good at? What do you dream about? What do you think, oh, I wish I could do that? Turn it into a side hustle. Whew. Got that out of my system. I want to say success in business is not a dirty word. It's not a dirty word. Shem now, because of what he's doing, he's feeding his family, he's feeding others. He's a kingdom investor. He's changing lives, one life or one game at a time. Success in business is not a dirty word. Success in business, success is not something to be embarrassed by. It's to be something to be celebrated. Well done, good and faithful servant. Jesus' disciples were not from Bible college. They were not from Bethlehem Bible College. They were business leaders. They're in the fishing industry. They're in the hospitality industry. Some work for the IRD. People didn't like them. People still don't like them. But the good and faithful servant, they put their money to work. 5 bags and they made it 10. So how do we do that on an individual level? How do we grow wealth so that we can be blessed to be a blessing? And here, and this is what I guess I want to share, because this gets me pumped, right? So here you are, you've got your 200. Maybe you've done your side hustle and you've created 300. You've got some margin. You've sold stuff. You're still selling stuff. Your wife's going, where's the jewelry? Sorry, that's a big sign outside, garage sale, so it's like, but you're doing whatever it takes. Why? Because if you want to live like, oh, now she's got to live like no one else. You've got to do something. And so you've created this. You've got your emergency funds done. Your dumb debt is dealt with. And you're going, what can I do to grow my wealth? And I know some people here, well, I don't know about investing. I don't know about the stock market and all that kind of stuff. And here's some things to understand. And young people, if you're listening today, I hope you are. Well, what I'm about to say to you now, I wish somebody had taught me when I was your age, which is now a very long time ago. This is what has helped me, and I'm going to use KiwiSaver as an example for you to help understand. That's number one. If you have KiwiSaver, you're already in the stock market. I'm trying to help you today. Young people, if you put money into KiwiSaver, you're not saving money, you're investing money. And I realize there's hundreds of different ways to do it. I'm just trying to give a picture here. And the sooner you do that, the bigger the return. How does that money grow? Well, it's very different than just simply putting your money in the bank. It's different than what they call simple savings. How does 5 become 10? Well, that's number 2, the miracle of compound interest. This is why the rich get richer. And if you're honest, and don't say you don't, we could all do with a little more. Oh, no, I'm just fine. Stop being selfish. If you're fine with it, donate it. Feed somebody. Albert Einstein said this, and he's widely credited with talking about compound interest. He called it the 8th wonder of the world. He's also quoted as saying, he who understands it earns it, he who doesn't pays it. When you're paying that exorbitant interest on a credit card, that's compounding. That's ripping your heart. But I want to tell you, when you work it the other way, it'll... Trying to help you. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. Now, there's no actual evidence that Einstein said that, but the reason it's attributed to him is because of the exponential miracle that it is, and understanding Einstein's mathematical genius. He was like this, and so these have been attributed to him. What does compound interest do? I want to show you another video by Dave Ramsey, but this could be life-changing for those who don't understand it, but just take a look. It's just a few minutes long. Watch this.
Compound interest is what we're talking about. It's a mathematical explosion. Einstein said that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Now, compound interest is simply this. You take your money down to the bank. Let's take this $1,000, and we take it down to the bank, and we put the money in the bank. Now, you leave it there, and it earns interest, and you leave the interest there. The next year, you earn interest on the $1,000 and on the interest. The next year, you earn interest on the $1,000, on the interest, and on the interest, and you leave it there again. The next year, you earn interest on the $1,000, on the interest, on the interest, and on the interest, and then you leave it there again. That's what compound interest is. The trick with investing is you got to start, and you got to start right now. You got to get started. So we're going to get the $1,000 out of the way. We're going to get the emergency fund built as quickly as we can. We're going to get you out of debt, and then we're going to get you investing as fast as we can in these baby steps, because time needs to be on your side. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's look at Ben and Arthur for a minute. Ben starts saving money at 19 years old. He saves $2,000 a year. He does that all the way up until age 26. At age 27, you will notice Ben puts in zero. Say zero. At 27, he quits putting money in, but he's got the pump primed. The snowball is there. It's starting to roll down the hill, and every time it rolls over, it picks up more snow because it's a bigger ball each time it rolls over. Then his brother Arthur on the other side, he looks up and says, ooh, Ben's saving money. I need to save money. He starts saving money at age 27. Now, let's fast forward all the way to the end of the story at age 65 and see what happens. What happens is, at the end of the story, Ben has put in $16,000 and has ended up with $2,200,000. Arthur, who put in $78,000, only ends up with $1,500,000. The guy who put in $78,000 later ends up with $700,000 less than the guy who put in $16,000 earlier. Some of you are looking at that and going, that's a real nice chart if I was 19. Well, let me tell you this. If you're in here and you're under 25 years old and you grasp what I just showed you intellectually to the point that it drops from your brain into your heart and changes your behaviors, I just made you a multimillionaire. You shouldn't be allowed to graduate from college or high school without being able to explain that chart. It would change America if people understood that chart. So what are we going to do? Well, if you're under 25, I just gave you a hint. Some of you in here like me, you're like over 45. If you're over 45, raise your hand. You probably have a message for those in here that are under 25. You're probably wanting to say something to them like, do it. 1, 2, 3. Do it! Wow. Young people, did you hear the voice of regret? One lady said, am I too old to save money? Not if you're still sucking wind. It's not over until you quit. Colonel Sanders never fried any chicken until he was 67 years old. Started Kentucky Fried Chicken as a 67-year-old. Why? Because he couldn't live on a Social Security check. Grandma Moses never painted a painting until she was 85 years old. She did 1,500 works of art, 450 of which she did after age 100. A couple of summers back, my family and I was blessed to get to visit Rome, and one of the tours we went on was through the Vatican. And across the back wall of the Vatican is a thing about 3 times the size of this area. On the back wall, this masterpiece of the return of Christ at the end of times. And our tour guide told us that that was painted there by a 78-year-old Michelangelo. It's not over until you quit. But with this money stuff, it's a lot easier if you'll get started now. The sooner you start, the less it takes and the easier it is, because you establish that discipline, you establish that pattern in your life.
Great. Good. You want to live like no one else, so later on you can live like no one else. Time and compound interest are your best friend when it comes to building wealth. Google compound interest, it'll blow your mind. I want to help you. Third thing, last thing, automate everything. KiwiSaver, set and forget. Put 10%, automate it. You won't even miss it. It's a great video called The Automatic Millionaire. Go and find it, watch it. Listen, Proverbs 13 verse 11, whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow. Behavior. It's our behavior. Paying into KiwiSaver is like what is called paying yourself first, investing into your financial freedom first, so you can live like no one else, so later on you can live like no one else, because it's taken care of. Now, I've just used KiwiSaver as an example, but you can do this. There's so many ways. There's never been a better time to grow wealth than there is today, to be able to make money while you sleep. With the invention of things like Sharesies and Hatch and Tiger and stuff, you can be investing. It's not even that hard. I'm not talking about Forex and following the money in the US dollar. I'm just talking about just mum and dad investing. It can make and grow your wealth in life-changing ways. And people get worried about the stock market. But what if it crashes? It always crashes. But it always recovers. Always. It's a company called Navida. I think that's how you say it. If you put $1,000 in Navida, and there's been plenty of crashes, the 2008 crash, the 1990 crash, lots of crash. When I came back from India in 1999, if you'd have put $1,000 in Navida, which you can do today, so you can just go on Hatch, Sharesies, whatever, Hatch, put $1,000. You could do it now. We came back from India in 1999. If we'd have put $1,000 into Navida, here's what would have happened. Just take a look.
$1,000 worth of NVIDIA stock when they first IPO'd in 1999 and held for a year and a half, your investment would have grown to $8,341. That's over an 8x in the space of a year and a half. But it turns out that the roller coaster is just getting started, because in 2001, your investment would be worth $14,000. However, if you sold in 2002, you would have had just $2,414. Held on for 5 years after that in 2007, and you would have $22,000 from your initial $1,000 investment. Not too much happens over the next 7 years for NVIDIA. If in 2014 you sold, you would have $12,000. However, things just go exploding from there. By 2016, your investment would be worth $67,000. By 2017, you would have $146,000. By 2020, your investment would be worth $321,000. If you sold NVIDIA at the end of 2021, you would have $719,000. But of course, if you manage to hold on to today after the AI revolution, you would have $951,000 from your $1,000 initial investment in the space of just 24 years.
That's right. I think one of the most amazing gifts you can do is take $100, put it in the stock market, and give it as a gift to a grandchild. Can change lives. Prosperity is a blessing. Poverty is a curse. I'm not saying if you're poor, you're cursed, but poverty in general is a curse. Where you find poverty, you find drugs, crime, gangs. We're not called to that. The borrower is a slave to the lender. We're not called to that. You want to create wealth. You are sitting in a building now that was given out of the overflow, a millionaire businessman who invested his money. This building, this land, the 50 acres, all given out of the overflow. What a great way to live your life. To be able to make things happen, make dreams possible just out of the overflow. I haven't talked about giving or things. I'm not going to in this series. I will, because I think when it comes to giving, some people, they stop at nothing, literally. It's in the other service. Some of you are slowly getting that. I don't know how people think we do what we do, but there's you've got to settle the ownership issue. I'm not talking about that. But you'll never give if you're in debt and you're stressed and you're You're broken. You just won't. And so I want to help you rise up out of that. And if you follow these principles and read these books, it can be life-changing for you. Is that all right?